Hello everyone, it's DuckFaden07. Today we are playing similar list to which recently got a 5-0. I changed some stuff, I added Stoneforge Mystics. I really like Stoneforge in a list like this one, which plays Orcish Bowmasters, Spectral Procession, so a lot of tokens. Sword can be very good with this stuff. Okay, so we got a Force of Virtues, we got Solitudes, we got Leyline Bindings, all free or 1 mana spells that can trigger our beans, but also we have access to Orcish Bowmasters, which is great against opponents' Bowmasters and also against opponents' Beanstalks. So other than that, we got Squadron Hawks. Squadron Hawk is very important piece in this deck, which help us fuel the Force of Virtues and Solitude, get the free white card in hand which we can use to pitch cast our spell, also Shining Shoals in the main and in the side, and also Sunscar. So Sunscar is very cool tech and I think is best used with Squadron Hawk. Sunscar is usually not that great, but if you have a Squadron Hawk in your deck, it becomes much better. So you get 3 Squadron Hawks in your hand when you play just one of these, and then you can play this for 0 mana and kill all creatures, which is very good for 0 mana, and also trigger your Beanstalk. Okay, so that is it. Some more removals, Graveyard Hate, Chalice, and Loran of the third pet. I think Loran is very good. I was really impressed with Loran in a lot of situations, especially in a deck where you're playing Orcish Bowmaster, and ability from Loran that forces opponent to draw a card can be really relevant. Okay, so let's go to the gameplay and see how it went. Okay, in the first match, I was playing first. Okay, so kept a decent hand. I have turn 2 Stoneforge, a turn 3 Procession. I have Emeria and Solitude to get rid of opponents' early creatures, especially if they go for scam. Okay, so they start with Totsis, discarding my Stoneforge logically, but I'm fine. This means they won't scam me, and I have Solitude and 2 Spectral Processions. Okay, so opponent was on Grixis. And yeah, so I had multiple options here. Obviously I decided to go for Spectral Procession, risking playing into Spell Pierce, but opponent doesn't have anything, and they let this resolve, and it seems like they're playing a Grixis Shadow. So they play the Death Shadow, but I have a lot of these tokens, and I decided to go for Squadron Hawk here, so I can just infinitely jump the Death Shadow and attack my opponent in the air. Here I decided to go for Solitude, ditch one of the Hawks, and play another one. So this is 5 power in the air, and yeah, I have a lot more of these in hand. So as I said, I can just attack my opponent, then jump with 1 flyer, then again attack. I think yeah, this is very strong position for me at the moment. Opponent plays Channeler, but they don't even have Delirium. I top deck Bowmaster for a turn, and opponent concedes. That's it. Okay, so let's check out game 2. Okay, in game 2, again, I would say pretty decent. Opponent is playing Shell of deck, so definitely Solitude good against them. So I have, I'm playing second, so having Kaldra in hand is never what you want to have, but it is fine. Yeah, so I still have sword in my deck to try to find with Stoneforge. Opponent goes for dash, and I decide to kill the Ragavan, pitching Shining Shoal, and then I play the Stoneforge Mystic. So maybe I wouldn't have a second white card, but there was like, I really wanted to hold another Solitude in hand and just ditch a Shining Shoal. Shining Shoal would help me protect my Stoneforge, but I just decided I'd rather have the Solitude in hand, and if they play like a Shadow plus Murktide, Solitude is just very good card against them. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so I go for a Kaldra, and Kaldra is very good clock in situation like this. Also, I have like Solitude, Shining Shoal in hand, which should mean that I'm pretty safe. Okay, so opponent attacks me for 2, puts me on 14. Yeah, I had multiple options here, so I decided to go for the attacks first. Put my sword on the field and go for the Sunscare, kill everything except my Kaldra token, which has indestructible. So yeah, killed Shadow, killed Bowmasters. I think this was pretty good for me, but opponent also had Otawara to bounce my Kaldra. So right now opponent was on 3 life, and they also had Turak in hand, which was very good draw for them in situation like this. Discarding my last 2 cards in hand. Yeah, so but I ended up having top decking Bowmasters, which also gets me really close to kill here. Opponent starts their turn with expressive iteration. They go for bubble, and with Bowmaster on the field and opponent fetching, this is like lethal if they don't have removal. Yeah, so I let the Turak damage. I go for Bowmaster end of turn, dealing 1 damage to face, but opponent has their Bowmaster, which means they get to survive another turn. I attack with my token. We trade for tokens, and I play Spectral Procession here, making 3 flyers, 3 tokens with flying. And yeah, this means 3 lethal attackers for next turn. Opponent has 6 damage on the field, which is good, and they also find Engineered Explosives, which was probably the only card in a situation like this which would get them the win. But yeah, they got it, and it was pretty close, pretty exciting, and pretty fun game. So let's check out game 3. Okay, yeah, pretty mediocre hand here, nothing special, but I'm playing first. I most probably get to resolve either Beanstalk or Mystic. So that is already pretty good situation for me, so I decide to keep. Yeah, so if I resolve the Beanstalk, then I just have to keep the field of the Bowmasters, and I should be pretty good. Opponent discards my Mystic, but I top deck another one. Play the Windbrisk Heights. Yeah, I previously played very similar build. When I was trying to make Windbrisk Heights work, I played the 4 heights in a similar deck like this. The idea was to play the Spectral Procession, the Bowmaster, and more of these token makers, and then put powerful spells below the Windbrisk Heights. So when I was playing that deck, I realized that the 5 mana Convoke spells are not that great in this deck, and also the Shining Shoals were very useless. So when I tried to when I was building this deck and tweaking it from the version that did the 5.0, I really wanted to remove all those cards from the main. I left 1 Shining Shoal in and 2 more on the sideboard. Especially right now in this meta game, I think Shining Shoal is pretty bad because Unholy Heat doesn't see almost any play, and it was Shining Shoal was the best card exactly against that deck. Okay, so here I exile opponent's Goyf, play the Heights and attack opponent with Sentinel, but they have removal and bringing back Urza Saga, which was very good. Okay, so now yeah, I'm in a pretty bad situation, don't have basically anything relevant. Opponent also trying to find something, and they do find 2 reclaimers, which was pretty good. They're attacking for 6, nothing I can do there. Opponent goes for draw 1, and I play the Bowmaster in response, so got some value, let's say. Opponent draws a card there and kills, unfortunately, my Bowmasters immediately. So I went for Sentinel and play the Shock untapped. So this way I get to play the Shining Shoal and kill one of the Reclaimers if they attack. Yeah, so I go for double block and also play the Shining Shoal for 4 mana. This is one of the rare situations when you get to use the Shining Shoal actually, but in most situations it's you really don't get to use it that well. Okay, so I binding their second reclaimer, and yeah, kind of got in decent situation, but still pretty bad because they have Urza Saga on the field, and I top deck another land, and I had to concede there. Okay, so let's check out the game 2. Okay, so in the game 2, okay, this build was slightly different. I had 4th Shining Shoal there, but everything else was exactly the same. Okay, so I was playing first here, and when playing first, this is much easier game. So I went for turn 2 Bowmasters, turn 3 Loran, kill Urza Saga, that is pretty good. Opponent plays Fatal Push but doesn't actually have the second land, and yeah, the situation is now pretty good for me. I play the Beanstalk, play Murderous Cut, get the draw a card, and opponent is screwed after I killed the Urza Saga. I go for Spectral Procession, making 3 tokens, drawing a card. And I have a hand bunch of useful cards that also all of them can trigger the Beanstalk, and this is like I can't lose this game anymore. So opponent concedes, and let's check out the game 3. Okay, so playing second in the last game, I have turned two good turn 2 plays even after tosses. So, and turn 3 Spectral Procession, so I keep getting the Indatha Triome first. Opponent has Urza Saga plus a Goyf, so basically their best start. I go for Squadron Hawk here, getting 2 more Hawks. I don't want to discard, so I got just 2 of those. Opponent has the land and starts attacking, so yeah, pretty good start for the opponent. They had their, let's say, a perfect start. I had with the Spectral Procession and the Squadron Hawks means I get a bunch of blockers, and also have the Bowmasters, so I can really chump opponent for a long time, unless they get Shadow Spear, of course. So I really wanted to kill that first construct. Yeah, and with the Bowmaster, so opponent goes for another construct and attacks with Goyf, so I can jump here. I make 3 more tokens and hold a Murderous Cut for their turn, hoping to kill the creature equipped with Shadow Spear. So they go for a construct. I of course kill the equipped creature and jump the Goyf. Yeah, okay, so I can now counter attack with my flyers, hopefully get the Kaldra on the field so I can block the Tarmogoyf or whatever creature is equipped with a Shadow Spear. So I also go for Squadron Hawk. I have 5 mana. Right now I can attack with my flyers and stick back with a couple of creatures in the block. And opponent of course has the Shadow Spear, but I'm constantly applying pressure. So next turn, if they don't have a removal for my Kaldra, I will be able to stop their life gain. Okay, so they had the Havermite, but I top deck Bowmaster, so I can kill the Havermite before putting Kaldra on the field, which was my way to victory. And yeah, again I go with my flyers and stay back with Stoneforge, so I can put Kaldra in play. And yeah, so opponent goes for Totsis. I put Kaldra into play, so they discard the only card left in hand, which is Squadron Hawk. And they go for Equip Shadow Spear, and I'm guessing opponent didn't know how exactly Kaldra works, and they attacked with Glyph. So pretty good position for me. I can stay back with Kaldra, attack with my flyers. I have a 2-turn clock there. I also have Solitude now. Yeah, so this is pretty bad position for the opponent. They don't really have a way out, and they concede the match. That was it. Okay, so let's check out match 3. Okay, pretty good hand. Stoneforge, Bowmaster, Squadron Hawk. I was kind of surprised how my opponents valued Squadron Hawk. Often in situations like this, a few times opponent played Totsis, and between Squadron Hawk, few times they opted to discard the Squadron Hawk, which was like really unexpected. Okay, opponent goes for Death Shadow here, which just didn't understand that choice, because they played the Totsis and saw the Bowmaster in my hand, so that was pretty bad decision. Opponent goes for Snapcaster then, and getting rid of the Squadron Hawk, and I actually top decked another one, which was funny. Okay, so I got 2 more Hawks here, so I can pitch cast to my Solitude and attack with Orc Army. Opponent decides to trade. So yeah, Bowmaster, Sentinel on the field. These are 2 creatures that are usually very good against my opponent's deck, and they go for Charm on Sentinel before combat. I had multiple options here. I decided to resolve my Beanstalk. They don't really have any answers to it, so resolving it is often just pretty good. And I go for Solitude, getting rid of the Sentinel, drawing a guard of the Beanstalk, and that's it. So now I have the Beanstalk active, I have Solitude Binding in my hand. Basically it would be very strange to lose this game from after this. Okay, so attacking with my Hawks, opponent on 5 life, waiting for them to play something so I can play my removals, of course, and that's it. Yeah, so opponent passes the turn. I draw more good cards. Stoneforge in the situation like this is pretty decent. I go for the Stoneforge. They have to keep the interaction like a counterspell, and also use cards to get rid of my Squadron Hawks. And yeah, I get the binding. Draws me another card, gets rid of the Shadow, and the Squadron Hawks are definitely getting there, slowly, but yeah. Okay, so I got the full domain now, and I go for another binding, drawing another card, and opponent concedes. That is it. Yeah. Okay, so let's check out game 2. Okay, in the game 2, decent hand. I have binding, potentially binding, turn 2 if needed, turn 3 Spectral Procession. Solitude is always great against their deck. Okay, so that is it. I go for turn 1 Raugrin, turn 2 fetch, get my other Triome, or just hold for binding. Yeah. Opponent discards Spectral Procession. I guess they didn't care about removals that much at this point, but definitely kind of having hard time dealing with Procession. So again, as you can see, in all 3 matches so far, I think I removed the Shining Shoals to the sideboard. It's just not a card that is very useful in a meta game played right now. It's good against Murktide, but Murktide is not that popular at the moment. I feel like the card is greatest against Unholy Heat, and Unholy Heat is not as popular as it was. Okay, so I attack with my Spectral Procession. As I said, it's kind of hard for them to get rid of this. It's 3 flyers and Orcish Bowmasters kill just one. They don't have good blockers except Murktide, so it is kind of hard for them to deal with it. Yeah. Okay, so opponent has one counter for my first removal, but they don't have a counter for Solitude. Yeah. Opponent also kind of having trouble losing life at this point, because they only have like 4 watery graves. So if I didn't have attackers, they would struggle with making their shadow, other shadow relevant. Okay, but opponent plays the subtlety here, trying to block my creature. I go for binding immediately, getting rid of their blocker and putting them to 6, which means I have lethal next turn. Yeah, but they play a Murktide, which was pretty good. Also my top decks were great. Another Solitude from the top to get rid of the Murktide and put opponent on 8, which is again lethal on board. Opponent needs to find something, and they go for another subtlety, trading with Solitude, which is totally fine. They're on 2 life and their deck just doesn't have the tools to get rid of 3 flyers, so that's it. That is the win. And now let's check out the defeats. Okay, so mulligans there, 2-5 unfortunately. Decent 5, I was playing first. I had a turn 1 Sentinel, turn 2 Squadron Hawks, getting me 3 more Squadron Hawks, so at least I have stuff to play. Opponent is on, I think opponent was on Amulet. Yeah, they go for another Urza Saga, and I didn't have enough pressure. If I had like a Force of Virtue, this would maybe be a completely different game. Binding was decent here in this situation to take their Amulet, but if they stack their abilities right, they get to play a land. If they stack their abilities wrong, then I get to take their Amulet before the second saga resolves. But they stacked it well, so it wouldn't matter if I didn't play the Spirit tokens. Opponent now gets the second Amulet, plays the bounce land, and have enough mana to play Titan, so they go for Summoner Pact, giving me another draw. Unfortunately, none of these draws were Solitudes, so they got to do the thing, finding lands with 2 amulets on the field. They can get 6 mana. Yeah. Okay, opponent goes for Talaria and doesn't do anything else this turn, just passes the turn. They know I don't have enough on the board to threaten them with lethal next turn. I really needed like Force of Virtue here. Opponent gets back their One Ring, does more draws, and I have a 6 power staying back to protect myself against Titan. But yeah, of course they have a Dryad and they can go for Valakut also here, which is additional damage. Yeah, so they decide to go for the Valakut immediately. And Valakut does 12 damage, which is close to lethal, so I can trade with Titan and survive. But post combat they can play another land and kill me that way, so that was it. Wasn't able to get out of this, really needed my Solitude, didn't get it, and that was it. Okay, so in the game 2, again Shining Shoal's out, so all post boards so far Shining Shoals went out. Shining Shoal is just very useless in a huge number of matchups, and that's definitely the reason why I don't want it in main. It's not great in the sideboard either, but it's okay. Loran of the third path is definitely good here. I was really impressed by it. They did a good job in a lot of matches. Opponent had much slower hand here, so they had 2 amulets on the field and 1 ring, but luckily I had some answers to this, and their hand wasn't fast enough. So opponent goes for another ring, which is totally fine by me. I won't be doing any damage with Kaldra again, but I got time to find another land, play the Loran, kill the amulet, again trying to slow them down, or even if they get the Titan this turn. Opponent has Otawara and loses 2 life with the ring. In response to draw ability, I go for the Bowmaster. Bowmasters deal 1 damage. I use Loran to deal them another damage, and from the ring draws I succeed to find a lethal here. So Loran basically won this game by forcing opponent to draw a card. This interaction is so cool. Okay, so and also Loran helped me kill the amulet, so it was really relevant. Yeah. Okay. In the game 3, my hand was okay, but I didn't have any interaction like early interaction. I mean like Solitude, and Murderous Cut was fine, but not enough. So basically, they went turn 1 Amulet and Saga, so I just went for turn 2 Stoneforge Mystic, but that wasn't good enough. Also, I don't have a good fuel for Murderous Cut in this game. So already turn 3, opponent is on the play and they have 6 mana to play the Primeval Titan, and I barely have mana to cast the Murderous Cut next turn, and yeah. Opponent can go for Primeval Titan here. Get a bunch of mana, 8 mana, so they put another Titan on the field. Getting a bunch more triggers and getting the Cultivator Colossus. Cultivator Colossus puts 10 or more, even more lands on the field. Yeah, and that is game over. So I basically played my Stoneforge and died. That is it. Even if I had Solitude, they would still win, because they would get to play the Colossus anyway, so it wouldn't even matter, and that's it. Okay, so opponent hand was too good on the play against what I had. Okay, so let's check out the last match another defeat. So I was playing a second. Sorry, this is a wrong deck. this is the one. Okay, so I had a decent hand here, like Stoneforge, Orcish Bowmaster, Squadron Hawk, Solitude Binding. It doesn't get much better than this for this deck, but opponent was on creativity, and I don't have any creativity hate. Creativity is just not the deck that is the most popular right now. It's definitely not played at all, so definitely unprepared to face a deck like this. They go for a Teferi here. I had to use my Orcish Bowmasters to kill it, and now when games go longer like this means I have to hold Binding and Solitude instant speed to remove their creativity targets, which is pretty hard if they can go like for creativity x2 or x3. I don't have much chance there, and yeah, I go for the Binding here, taking another Teferi, getting the sword, and I'm still holding the Solitude, but opponent has two dwarfs now going for creativity for 2, and I can kill one of those with my Solitude, but can't kill the second one. Also this way opponent kills my Stoneforge. I get to untap, play the Binding, get rid of the Archon, but that's very weak play, and yeah, that's very weak play. And if they get their Leyline Binding, that's like a huge blowout for me. And they, of course they got it, and they also had the kill this way next turn, and I decide to concede. Okay, let's check out game 2. Creativity is pretty good against mid-range deck like this one, and I definitely need some sideboard hate to beat it, but since nobody is really playing creativity at the moment, it is not really needed. Okay. Again, another matchup where Shining Shoal is really bad. Doesn't do much. My opponent maybe plays a couple of bolts, but mostly they have like a Binding, a couple of bolts, then Prismatic Ending, and more stuff on their sideboard. They got the Binding to get their Wren back, and this is a pretty awkward situation. I am doing the pressure definitely here, and kind of depending on my opponent not having the creativity there. And I say my Bowmaster, and I have 5 damage on the field, but opponent, unfortunately, they also discarded the Murderous Cut from my hand. Okay, so yeah, I got the Loran here, taking their Archon with my Binding, and attacking with everything, putting them on 3, and opponent got the Teferi Bounce, which also just discards the Leyline from my hand and gets them enough life to win next turn. So that was it. Okay, that was the entire league. I think that was good. Having this, I had similar ideas before, but didn't try this. I played a very similar list before the Beanstalk. I think it's much better with the Beanstalk. It's not like the highest tier strategy, but it is I think it's very fun and fun to play, and it's reasonable power level. Spectral Procession triggering the Beanstalk is pretty sweet. Also, when you have Bowmasters, Sentinel, Spectral Processions on the field, pitch casting Force of Virtue can be very strong. Squadron Hawk fueling forces, Solitudes and Sunscars, and Shining Shoals has been also great. Yeah, okay, so I really wanted to try this build, which recently, as I said, got the 5-0, and I definitely liked it. I also liked the addition of Stoneforge. I think I very much prefer Stoneforge in the main than full max of Shining Shoals. And that's it. Okay, hope you liked the video, hope you liked the gameplay. A friendly reminder to click like, click subscribe, comment in the video, tell me how do you like the Stoneforge in this build and some other changes. And that's it for today. Again, thank you for watching and goodbye.